Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while since I made any video. I've been busy with something. It's not like anyone is waiting for these videos anyway, so I think I'm in the safe here. But video is going to be mostly a summary for what I've been doing. It's going to be the first scripted video, basically, and I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm going to be putting much more effort in these videos. I'm going to be putting much more effort basically in everything I'm going to be doing. I got a lot of free time, and also I got a lot of things that I would like to do as usual, but hopefully that goes well. So I'm going to start with what I've been up to. I've been working on my Obsidian Vault. For those who don't know, Obsidian describes itself as a software, describes itself as a knowledge base or a knowledge vault. Basically, it's just a text editor. You know, you write documents with Markdown, which also like a really simple language to style your documents. But it gets really powerful, you know, with note making basically, or like you can use it basically to write journals and such. And it has also a plugin sort of framework for people to make all sorts of plugins. And that makes it really, really powerful for editing notes, automating stuff. And yeah, to be fair, at first I was being lazy at the first few days, or like maybe few weeks after we came back from the journey. I even lost one of my diaries because of one of the plugins. Unfortunately, I was experimenting with something and the data was not backed up, so one of my diaries were gone. But eventually I decided I want to go back into writing my journal. I decided to work on automating like making the diary files and such, making these notes. And yeah, at first it was a little bit tough because I'm really rusty, but you know, eventually I basically made everything I wanted to make. It took me 3 weeks, and I probably worked about 8 hours each day on these scripts and such. And it's not like the most impressive thing, it's just the fact that I don't write down the things that I want to make, and I don't plan them ahead. Makes the process take like way longer than it should. So that's also something that is going to be changing later on. But I'm glad I can work on something now. And this video is going to be the first result of that work. I also been spending a lot of times on vrchat when I was done like working on the vault. I would end up spending a lot of time in vrchat. vrchat is like a metaverse, in case you don't know. It's like a space for people to from all over the world to just meet and talk. At least that's what's supposed to happen, or that's what's expected. It's been around for a long time. You don't need VR for it. You just need like anything that is better than a potato PC, and I think you'll be fine. The community there is a little bit degenerate for most of the time. That's what I usually call it. You know, it's a big manifestation of lust in general, and I don't know, like people just want to have I guess a safe zone, but at the same time they also want to be very degenerate. They want to be lustful and such. It's a manifestation of the 7 deadly sins 90% of the time, and it's very hard for me to find someone that I can talk to about something serious, you know, without them screaming into my face or being stupid or silly. That's very hard. But you know, from every now and then, I get one or two conversations, you know, a few hours, and that will be fun to have. And it's good for me to be there because after I left the groups that I used to be in, I think I'm like depriving myself socially. I need someone to talk to at some point. Which gets me into the sort of main topic for this video. Since I left most of the communities that I was active in, basically again, I started to feel like I'm deprived sort of socially. I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm just spending my time, you know, here on my PC doing nothing most of the time until I started working, of course. But I'm starting to doubt that decision, to be honest. Because like I'm not sure if that was the right decision or should have gone about it the wrong way. And even though I have few good reasons to be worried about being around some of these people that I was around, it won't change the fact that I still enjoyed being there, and this kind of was sort of my only source of socializing. But again, who knows if, I would be working on something here right now if I didn't make that decision at some point. And I'm trying to work, trying to improve myself right now. Um, maybe I wouldn't be working on this right if I didn't leave. I'm not saying I'm trying to blame the people for me leaving. I'm sure at least some of them were acting in goodwill, but eventually I started noticing where things were moving towards, and decided, just for the sake of not going deviant from my beliefs, I have to leave. This wasn't the only reason, however, it was a big factor for why I left. I hold my beliefs to be the highest value ever, and I would like to keep it as is. They are not going to change. Which also kind of makes me realize, that also that decision will also have another, like, sort of double-edged sword factor of it. It's like I can't really go back to these groups of friends unless they want me to, they allow me to, which is fair. I mean, the ball is in their court. I decided to leave. That was my decision. But the like the power, all of the ball is on their court right now. It makes me sad knowing that there's a pretty good chance that I may not be able to go back to. It's like I basically lost whatever I was building in terms of relationship, like between me and them, and technically it is my fault. And again, some people say that I could have avoided doing it this way and been, less active. But the problem, if I have the option, I'll end up sort of relapsing, if you will. I still love the people in there, and I hope that someday we meet again. I'd love to talk to them again, but for now, I'm just gonna hope that they're doing fine. Well, and I actually encountered some of my old friends in vrchat. That was surprising because I wasn't in a place where I recall anyone from my friends list, at least, being there without me inviting them to either go there or something, or suggesting it as a place to spend time. It's not a very popular place, but I cannot talk. But it was interesting, encountering them. We talked mostly about why I left, and they told me that some people really did not like what I did, and it is understandable. I kind of expected that. I explained to them why I left, the big reasons behind it. They probably did not agree with a lot of the stuff that I said. It's mostly because of my beliefs. Yeah, I think they have a problem with understanding why we look at something as some things being wrong and some things being right compared to their society. They seem to not be at peace with the idea of God too. So usually it's like if God existed, why are bad things happening? And that kind of misses the point to me, because life is just a test, and God will test you with either good fortune or bad fortune, and it's up for you to act. Yeah, I don't think things are bad because of God. It's mostly because of us. Like, we have the freedom to choose how to act on things, and I think it's we can agree that there's a lot of bad people around. So yeah, but this discussion kind of ended up going nowhere really. We basically disagreed on a lot of stuff, and I keep pointing out, like, I see a lot of wrong things with how things are going in their society, and I'm noticing that, like, they don't see it as a problem, and I think it's because it's always kind of been this way for these past generations, and it's kind of like the boiling frog. It's like the boiling frog experiment. If you put a frog in a bowl of boiling water, it will jump right immediately. But if you put it in there on, like, with warm water, and you start heating up, you'll actually die from boiling in the water. But again, I understand why. I think it makes I think it wasn't a good point mostly. I didn't make a good point like when we were arguing. Um, I didn't have most of the points that I would make at least memorized by then. I was pretty tired. It was late. I told them uh, it was also up to them if they want to look up the truth behind things, and it's probably their duty towards themselves. But I don't think they want to. I'm not sure if they do, and it's up to them. I cannot do much. At least I try. Mostly my problem is like with the ethics with these societies. They don't really have any solid platforms for their ethics, and that explains all the wrong things the rest of the world can see, but not them really. I hope that God guide them to the truth, because I know what's in the end and the path they're going to, but it's not good. You know, hopefully, hopefully they end up finding something of meaning in their lives, because if they don't, they're gonna be very miserable. I think I have few problems with what I'm doing, because while it's good to be working on something, it's also bad that to only be working on that something throughout all of my day. When I work on something, I also end up spending up all my time on it, and I basically get like no entertainment. I don't get any other activities. I always like just focus on production and such, and that is not good, because eventually I will get burnout. You know, even when I'm working, yeah, I have some form of entertainment like in the background, but even that kind of quote entertainment is like educational videos and such, or like podcast. And while it could be entertaining, it's still I'm focusing on the learning aspect of it, and also focusing on working on my projects. So I think I need a schedule. I have at least so that I have at least some time to do something fun, playing games, do other stuff, watching something, or maybe just talk to people. Anything that is not necessarily, educational oriented, or, work oriented. If I keep all the things that kind of worry me on my mind all of the time, I'll just end up going crazy. So some other activities are not work oriented have to be there, just to make sure that I don't go insane. I already have a schedule technically, but I don't know if it's efficient enough. I think it could use a lot more work, but I sort of have something to stick to. Also trying to shift my focus from worldly things, materialism and such, and I mean like desires and ego and all of that, and lust, being basically ego being the most dangerous enemy that technically we have. But I guess on the positive side, like this whole thing was not totally negative at all. Like I think it was mostly good. I think I'm more calm, and more patient, starting to be at least, and I'm finally actually starting to do things. I'm spending more time working, and while I'm working, I'm also listening to all sorts of educational videos slash podcasts. I'm mostly trying to find what is popular and why is it popular, more than the content in a specific video most of the time. And that alone is a big win, I would say. But I'm also paying attention to people I talk to more. You know, I'm focusing more. I'm practicing my religion, starting finally, and the fix of it are very good. I can. My mood is better. I don't have short temper, at least not as short as it used to be. I don't have much brain fog during the day, which is a very welcome change. I also like I'm focusing. What do you call it? I'm it's better. I'm understanding things better. I guess objectively better. What is right or wrong. I'm trying to learn about that. My understanding of these things is becoming better. My thought process is also becoming better. I can plan things a little better now, and I can recognize if people really know what they're talking about, and if they have ill will behind the actions. Much better also. So overall, I'm having a much better time. I just really miss my friends. That's the only problem I have. For the most part, I've been trying to learn about my religion and why is it right and where other systems failed compared to it. What direction my society might be heading, and is if it's following a different society blindly, which seems to be the case. And for now, I also have few things, few points that I'm planning to just keep in mind all the time for the future. I'm going to shift my focus to Internet of Things and automation. This is going to be what I'm going to specialize in. I'm also going to increase my working hours and spend more and more time learning. Learning new things and documenting what I learn in my knowledge base using Obsidian. I'm going to try to go back into reading things and also documenting what I learn from what I read. I'll try to keep track of all activities that I just to make sure that I end up, doing them and working on them as much as possible, finish them. I'll try first to design everything that I plan like to work on. I will basically just write it down, or at least write it on my knowledge base and plan it, and know what the end result of it has to be, so that I don't just end up creeping on it every now and then and just add one or two things. So that I would have a clear goal, and from that goal I could move to some other goal after I achieve it. Also, I need to learn and practice my religion, even if everyone hates it. I don't care. I want to learn. I want to learn and talk more about things that people usually end up avoiding talking about. And I'll always try to follow the truth wherever it takes me. I'll try to keep myself on the right path and be true to my beliefs and enforce these with actions. And I hope along the way that I meet my friends again. But that's it for this video. It's been an interesting change, and I'm looking forward to what the future has for me. I hope to see you there, and good evening.